Welcome back. I want y'all to step into my office. Haven't been doing much the past couple days. A lot of rain, some extra work. You know, my alternator went out on my truck, oil change, stuff like that. Anyway, did manage to finish the structure for the kitchen cabinets. This may not seem like a lot of progress, but trust me, it is. I had to figure out how I wanted it, what layout. I wanted storage from a very big stove. I can slide it out, put it on top, cook. When I'm done, put it back in there. Then I also need storage for the little propane bottles. Now, I could have made it fit behind here. I can slide this back. There's plenty of room. I could have made a rack in the back, which I still may do for my propane stove. Let me pull the stove out. There's a big one. It's probably one of the biggest ones available. Bought this one last year for a camping trip, specifically because it had a burner and it was also a grill. I'm not going to put it fully together, but to give you an idea, everybody can do it with one hand to put together to hook the wings in. But anyway, let me just do it. Maybe you can visualize the full picture. You gotta love doing everything with a phone, right? Anyway, that's the stove. It's a very big propane stove / grill. So that fits nicely on the counter. I've got just enough room for my propane tank to overhang without interfering with the sink. And I have a nice storage. The storage is all boxed in. It's all solid walled. So I could have made a rack back here. The propane tanks are 8 inches tall. I could have fit 2 on this side and 2 on this side, give me 4 tanks, which I can still do that and still have room for my stove. But if I didn't store there, I built a jar. I'm not a cabinet maker by any means. All this still needs to be sanded, cleaned up, and fine-tuned to make my edges line up. As I said, I'm not a cabinet maker. See how far off some of my edges are? I can fix that. Anyway, this trim panel's not in place yet, so I still need to do some fine-tuned trimming. I need to do work on the jars, fix some mistakes I made, but it's the first set of jars I ever built in my life. Very happy with it. No handles on it yet. But yeah, this right here, sliding doors, I may have talked about in a previous video. This is my first and only attempt at sliding doors. I started by making a track system. I don't think I have a piece of drop off in here. Yes, I do. I just decided what width I wanted the track. I made 2 tracks, made it on my table saw, took a few passes. This on 1-inch deck board. I cut down to 3 strips. 1 was enough. It was a 12-foot deck board, but I cut extra in case I do more track systems on my overhead cabinets or under the bed. It's gonna have maybe some sliding doors like that. So anyway, I don't have the holes yet. I'm trying to decide if I'm doing a finger hole or put a decorational handle or just a handle. But slides nice and smooth on the double row track. This door rides in the front forward track all the way around. To remove a door, you undo the 4 screws on the bottom and the whole plate slips out and all the doors fall out. This front one, I added a trim piece, which I'll show you. It fits nicely behind my 2x2 framing, and when I close on this side, it fills the void. When it's open all the way, it fills the void. And the other door, this is going to be the battery box. I didn't close all the way because I got no handle. See, right now I got to push it just to get my finger in, but I can't close that one all the way. And this side is even where my water pump is and my inline water heater. Onboard battery charger goes in here as well. But that's what I'm playing with. Still got a lot of little errors and mistakes to fix, but it's all minor. This is going to get all trimmed out. I'm gonna have a piece, maybe not, you know, maybe not this thick, but I'm gonna have a piece that's gonna cover all the way to the track. That way you're not gonna see this gap, or I can just cut a piece to fill in the gap and come back with mahogany ply on top. But then I'm gonna trim it all out. This part right here, I was afraid I was gonna mess it up. I've done this all in one piece. I carefully done my measurements and layout. I measured from this edge and my 32 from the bottom of the counter all the way down. So actually I measured from the floor, because my top was a uniform 32. So I measured from the floor and this edge is where I took all my measurements to do all this layout, and everything wound up fitting within an eighth of an inch. I'm an eighth of an inch off on this little corner right here. I'm fine with, because my trim is going to cover that. But yeah, I think she's coming out nice. I need to finish the counter. After the counter's finished, I guess I'm going to finish the bathroom walls. This walls will be quick and easy to put up. I just need to get everything out of here. Cut this wall panel, put it in. Have a USB phone charger that's going in this wall somewhere, undetermined the height, because the sofa's going to be here. I'm going to put a shelf, probably even with the window. I'm going to put a shelf there just big enough to fit a phone on. Maybe a little clock, a USB power clock, but I really don't need a clock. So yeah, finish this minus the trim pieces, the kitchen counter, finish this shower wall. I can't put this shower wall on yet because I have to make my cutout for my faucet and do my plumbing connections. If I put this wall on now, I have to cut my little access hole and try to fight with it, putting those shark bite fittings from the inside. It's gonna be very difficult because my faucet, being my wall is so thin, I have to build a standoff that's come about at least two inches off the wall, a standoff block for my faucets to bolt to. So I can hold off on that for a little while. I still have to 45 my corners right here on the inside. I guess I want to 45 it because the plastic material I bought is going to wrap around, and the less corners it has, the easier it's going to be to work it, and the better it's going to be for me. So I'm going to have a radius corner. So I guess I need to build that next. Finish this cabinet, cover the outside this wall, and build my radiuses for my walls. Once I do that, I can clean everything up in here, finish getting rid of my pencil lines. I've got rid of most of them. I bought some erasers. Most of my pencil lines. I need to start staining my walls. I need to put a stain and a sealer on it. I'm going to stain the ceiling and the walls. I'm going to try to make the ceiling come out lighter than the walls. Let the walls be a little on the dark side. And like I always finish the bathroom after it's been stained. I need to determine exactly where my shower is going to stop and build my little rails, you know, to stop the water from coming out into the bathroom where the curtain go on the inside. Still haven't installed my roof fan. In and out of rain, I don't really need a fan right now. The fan's only going to be needed, I guess, when you're taking a shower and putting a lot of humidity in here. But it's going to be there. But yeah, I got a lot of finished work left to do. But I am making progress. She's coming along. I just wanted to show you what step I was on, and I think it's coming out great. I'm not a carpenter by any means. I do all right with carpentry. I do make mistakes on my layout, as you can see, so I'm gonna have to fix that, which is not a big deal to me. This particular piece was 2 window cutouts and 3 receptacles. Got a receptacle behind here and a receptacle underneath. That was all one piece, and I was off by 2.25 inches, I think. I don't know the exact. I never measured it. I don't know how I got that far off, but I was off. I was off by about 2.25. Doesn't matter how I got off. I was off, regardless if I was off or not. Due to the thickness of my walls and the thickness of these boxes are all made for 1/2 inch drywall, and even if I were to trim this back to where my receptacle would sit right on my outer wall. I ran out of depth. I was hitting my exterior wall with all these boxes. So this was gonna need probably 1/2 inch ply cover plate around it, or I have to cut the box back, pull my receptacles out and cut the box back and put a regular cover plate, but then it leaves me with my mess up. I did not want to have to change a whole $28 sheet for this one mess up, so I believe I'm gonna make a decorational cover plate, and I may go ahead and build a little shelf or something, or maybe hang a painting right here. Not that I'm a painting type of guy, but I'm gonna hide my mistake. And as far as these, it's about a 1/4 inch offset, as far back as the receptacle boxes will go. 1/4 inch offset. That one lays crooked because it's too late to change it now. I even tried wedging it. My wall stud right here is kind of tilted a little bit, and it's too late for me to change that wall stud. I did add a shim here to try to force that box over, but it's just not staying. So that's something else I'm gonna have to deal with. But that's all minor stuff. Like I said, my objective: get this finished minus the trim. I'm not doing none of the trim work. Get the structure complete, get it how I want it, get my bathroom exterior wall complete, start working on my 45 radius on the inside of my shower, maybe build my shower pan, and then I need to start staining this thing, stain it and put a sealer. And after I do all that, it's a matter of doing trim work, and then the interiors. And I'm over 90% done on the interior. I'm really happy I'm this far along. I didn't think I'd make it this far. I figured, well, I'd probably just sell the project before I finish it anyway. But I decided to keep it and finish it. I've got offered plenty offers for this boat, and so far I've been turning them down. My highest legitimate offer was $15,000 as is, and that was before I sheeted the interior. That was just with the spray foam in it, and I turned it down. You know, I want to use it first. I built this for me to use. I want to make some adventures, but as of right now, it's not for sale. Not yet, but I'm sure it will be, because you know I sell everything. Anyway, I do need to do work on this. This was temporary. The door stops and the framing is temporary, so I need to build it permanent. There's no seal on my door, so I lose a lot of air, but I'm not worried about it. This little air conditioner, I've been calling it 5,000. I actually read the sticker on it. It's a 6,000 BTU. It does phenomenal in this space. I'm anywhere from 92 and 94 square foot of living area, and this AC is rated for at least 150 square feet. Even with all these windows, right now I have on eco mode. It runs for about 10 minutes and shuts off for about 5 and comes back on, unless I do a lot of in and out in the door. But right before this video, I had the AC off because I had to use the grinder, because I had a few screws sticking out of my surface. It wouldn't allow me to push this flat, so I grinded those down, got rid of them. But yeah, as I stated many times, I'm very happy with my project, and thank y'all for stopping by. Any questions, comments, leave them down. I mean, I appreciate input, positive or negative. I usually get comments about I should do things this way and that. Well, I appreciate those comments, but I've already done my work, so I'm not tearing things down to change it because I get suggestions of how I should change it. At this point, what's done is done, and I'm going to roll with it. I think I've done a pretty good job laying out all the wiring and plumbing before the walls go in. I'm happy with it, and I can't wait to get this out in the water. But once the interior is finished, when I get to about 100% on the interior, even at 95% on the interior, right now I would say I'm about 90. When I get to 95% on the interior, I need to make a decision about my barrels. At least 4 of them, my caps were leaking. It wasn't holding 1.5 psi of air, so I do need to pull barrels down, and instead of pulling just 4, I'm gonna try my best to be a smart man and pull all 18 barrels, undo all the caps, and reseal all the threads on my barrels. As I stated in previous videos, I did not put any thread sealant on the dreads for the caps on the barrels. I relied on the factory barrel seals because I listened to other people that played with barrels before, and they all said, oh, you don't need anything else. My barrels were brand new and the seals were brand new. You know, the seals are all you need. Well, I have 4 of them for sure that I know is leaking, doesn't hold 1.5 psi, and I can hear the air seeping out in between the barrels, which means it's coming from the cap. So I'm about to pull every barrel down. I'm going to pressure test, make sure there's no holes, soap it down. I'm going to pressure wash my barrels to finish getting the barnacles that are on here, because I did leave this thing in the water for 6 weeks or more. So yeah, I'm going to take care of that. I'm looking forward to the end of June, having my first adventure, and I can't wait to bring you guys with me.